if you really set out to have a good time at NSU, it would be a blast. I enjoyed every single day at NSU. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This video is long overdue. Today I'm going to be doing an NSU review to talk about my experience and to just talk about NSU. I had intentions of making this video when I just graduated, so a year ago, and it just never happened, but I know it's important and it's going to help someone, so we're going to get right in. I do have my laptop right in front of me, so if you ever see me look down, I'm looking at all of the notes that I wrote down. So first things first, this is an honest and authentic review. No one asked me to make this video. I decided I wanted to make this video, so it is not at all affiliated with NSU. These are just my own thoughts. I initially made this YouTube channel when I started NSU back in 2019 to help other students, because I realized there was not a lot of information about NSU out there, and not a lot of information specific to international students. So I really wanted to help international students, but I am happy to help anyone who can benefit from my videos. In the last 4 years, so many people have walked up to me on campus to say that my videos were helpful or they really benefited from it. One person even told me they transferred to NSU because of me. Now, y'all, don't go that far. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. My goal is to help at least one person, and if I've helped one person, I know I've done my job. So because this video is a lot of talking, I anticipate that it would be very long. I made timestamps. I'm going to put them on the screen here, and they're also going to be in the description box. So if you are interested in seeing something specific, like you want to hear about academic life or you want to hear about the financial aspect, you can go look for that, so you don't have to go look through the entire video. Lastly, before I jump in, if you have something specific that you're thinking about or you have a question and it hasn't been answered in this video, feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. So many parents and students have sent me emails over the years, and most times I respond within a day. Don't hold me to that, but I respond very quickly. So shoot me an email if you're not comfortable putting it in the comments. Okay, let's hop in. First, who am I? So my name is Chantal, and I was an international student at NSU. I attended from August 2019 to May 2022. I was born and raised in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. If you don't know about Trinidad and Tobago, we are a twin island republic in the Caribbean. So this video is from the perspective of an international student. So it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but some of what I'm saying might be helpful. But always keep that in mind, that I am an international student, so the way that I view things may be different to the way that you view things. How did I get to NSU? So when you're selecting a university to go through, there are many different factors that you should take into consideration. Some of these factors are ranking, financial commitment, number of flights away from home, the weather, scholarships, program of choice, university culture, and distance from home. When I chose NSU, there were many factors that were involved in making this decision. When I chose, I wanted a school that, one, had an undergraduate program that would lead to my future career. So my goal was to be a speech language pathologist. To do that, I need a master's in speech language pathology. So I was looking for an undergrad program that had something related to speech language pathology. Thankfully, NSU had a speech language and communication sciences program that had all the prerequisites that I needed to do a master's in speech language pathology. So that was one for me. Two is the weather. I needed the weather to be similar to home. I am an island girl and I did not want to deal with the snow. I wanted to be one flight away from home in case of any emergencies. I did not want to be hopping on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flights that may have delays, that may have layovers and things like that. I wanted to hop on a plane and be right home. For scholarship, I wanted a school that, would give me a little money. And 5, I wanted to be able to financially commit to the school because it is 4 years. Like if you have the money for 1 year, it's going to be difficult continuing, but I wanted to make sure that once I chose to go to NSU, I'd be able to go all the way through. So when you're selecting a school, make sure to find out what is most important to you. Do your research and rank your priorities. Do you want to go to a school that's #1 in the country, or do you want to pay the least amount of money that you can possibly pay for school? Do you want to do it accelerated? Do you want it to have your specific program? Like, find out what's most important to you and choose schools based on that. I really recommend visiting the school that you want to go to before you commit to the school. I had the privilege of visiting NSU before I committed to it, and I visited twice. I had the privilege to go in December 2018 and April 2019. I think that helps in your decision. Now, if you're not able to fly to another state or another country to view the school, you can do a virtual tour. Or I recommend watching tons of YouTube videos with student perspectives. When you take a tour, everyone's gonna paint this school to be like this perfect, ideal place that you should spend the next 4 years. Not everything that they say may be true. So find a video with a student who's talking about their experience, because they're going to give you the real tea about the school. First, we're going to talk about general facts or things about NSU. In terms of the location, NSU is located in Davie. I know on everything they promote, it says Fort Lauderdale, but Fort Lauderdale and Davie are actually a little different. Fort Lauderdale is a lot more east, and Davie is a little more central in the Florida Peninsula. I loved Davie. Every time I go back to visit my friends, I'm like, I think when I'm done with my master's, I'm gonna come back to Davie, because it is like the perfect mix between rural and urban. It's right in between, where there's still things to do. You can still go bowling down the street. You can still, go out for a drink, go to a nice restaurant, but then it's not the hustle and bustle of like Miami. It's like the perfect blend. The layout of the area is also very easy to navigate. In terms of things nearby, I also recommend, if you're interested in going to any school, pull it up on a map and then search like Walmart or Target or anything that is part of your regular life. See how close it is to the school. So in terms of NSU, there is a Walmart that I believe it could be like a 5-minute drive away from campus. Target is about 10 minutes away, and Broward Mall, I think it's about 7 minutes away. All of these things are located on S University Drive, which, if you're from Trinidad, that's like the Arapita Avenue of Davie, because you could do everything on it. There's food, there's ice cream, there's the grocery stores, there's the mall. Like, there's so much that you can do on this one strip, and it's so close to NSU. There's so many things to eat. There's Steak and Shake, Pollo Tropical, Chick-fil-A, there's a McDonald's, there's a Wendy's, BurgerFi. What's our pizza place again? Oh my goodness. Blaze. There's a Blaze Pizza, which Blaze is like the Subway for pizza, so you can make your own thing. And there's always like a deal with NSU students. Like, different clubs on campus might have a deal where it's like buy one get one free, or because you're an NSU student you can get this. There's a Menchie's frozen yogurt. There's also a place called Magic Cow. It is a small business and they sell ice cream. Support small businesses. The ice cream is so good there. But back to Menchie's. At Menchie's, you show them your NSU card and you get a discount. So there's a lot of things you can do on S University Drive, and it's close to campus. Even if you have to Uber there, it's not going to cost you more than $6 one way. So in total, it might be like $15, $12 to go. And then if you go with your friends, you split the cost. It's affordable. In terms of NSU's school size, these numbers are rough estimates. So the total school size is about 20,000 students. Only 6,000 though are undergrad. There's a much larger graduate population, which is around 14,000. Again, these numbers are estimates. But the school is not too big, and when you're walking around campus, it doesn't feel very big. Like, all the academic buildings are in the same place, and then all the residential buildings in the same place. To get from the residential buildings to class, it might take you at most 15 minutes if you live going from Mako Hall all the way to DeSantis. And that's with like a regular pace. If you want to take your time on cruise, it might take a little longer, and if you have quick feet, you move fast, it might take a shorter time, but that's like the longest you might go on a walk somewhere. But yeah, it doesn't feel crowded when you're walking around. You're gonna see a lot of the same faces. Like if you have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, like you're gonna see a lot of the same people. It's gonna become very cozy. That's what I'm trying to say with like the school size. It's small enough where you see the same people a lot, but then it's big enough where you can see a new person every time you walk to class. It's the perfect size. In terms of the weather, it is warm, it is sunny, except when it's rainy. In the rainy season, it does get wet. You might need an umbrella. And then it does get chilly in the winter months. The lowest I've seen it was 8 degrees Celsius, which is around 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So it does get chilly. And if you are not used to the cold, it can be really cold. Like for me, 8 degrees Celsius, I'm not used to that. But it's not just the temperature, it's the wind. So I feel like in a lot of cold places, like when I went to Pennsylvania in the winter time, it's cold, but it's like an AC cold. But when Florida is cold, it's warmer, so it might not be negative something degrees, but there is the wind that is gonna blow and blow and blow, and it doesn't stop blowing, and that's what makes you like shiver, because you are close to the sea, so there is a lot of sea breeze. So the temperature may not be low, but it's gonna feel very, very cold. In terms of NSU's vibe, NSU's campus is very friendly. Like I remember when I visited in December, I was like, everybody's just so nice. Like everybody's like, hi, how are you? Like people are gonna strike up a conversation with you if you don't want to talk to them. If you don't want to talk to them, like it feels like people do care. There wasn't a lot of drama, no big sort of drama or anything like that. It's not a party school. Most students like have their head on straight, so it's gonna be a little more like, I don't know what word for that, but it's a little more, you know, but you can still have a good time. Friendly, academic based, not a party school. People's heads are on straight. In terms of finances, NSU is expensive. I'm not gonna lie, not gonna front. NSU is expensive. When you first apply, depending on your grades, you might be offered a Dean's Scholarship. When I applied, I got one, and that covered almost half of my expenses. Let me not say expenses, almost half of tuition, right? There is a payment plan available. When I attended, there was no payment plan for international students. However, my friend Alex, who was the international senator, after I was the international senator, he wrote legislation for there to be a payment plan for international students, and I believe it got to the approval process, and right now it is approved. Don't hold me on it, but I believe it is, like, it's available to international students as well. Speaking of scholarships, there are scholarships that you can get. So I already mentioned the Dean's Scholarship. There's also the Presidential Scholarship, which is another one of the bigger scholarships that would cover most of your costs. There are two levels. One is tuition and one is tuition and housing. Those scholarships, you need to be offered it. So I'm sorry, you can't just apply for it. I was offered it, and I think when I interviewed, I didn't get it. I think they do offer it to a lot of students, and it's during Shack Preview, so the interviews, they're constantly going. So I'm not sure how easy it is to get it, but I know that you can be a good fit and still not get chosen, you know, because they're seeing so many people, and the person that's interviewing you is not the person that's making the decision. So like, say I were to interview you, but I'm not the one giving you the scholarship. I'm just going to write it down, and that information is going to go to someone else. So you could impress that person, but all what they write on paper may not impress someone else because they're not feeling your vibe. They don't know who you are, things like that. Another set of scholarships are the Raiser's Edge scholarships. I 100% recommend the Raiser's Edge scholarships. These scholarships you do apply for, and you have to attend an interview for. These interviews happen during Shack Preview weekend. So if you're a prospective student, you can apply to go to Shack Preview, and you can interview different scholarships. Now these are premier program scholarships, so it comes with work. It's not just free money. I was in Raiser's Edge Shack Teach, which was the Raiser's Edge program that supported academic excellence. This is me paraphrasing the purpose of the Research Edge group. I had to do an academic support role on campus for 4 semesters, and then you still have to like attend meetings and be involved on campus. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But there are 5 other programs that you can look into, and it comes with a pretty decent scholarship. Those scholarships, again, you go to Shark Preview Weekend. When I attended Shark Preview Weekend, that's what sold the deal for me on NSU. Mine was pre-COVID, so I was able to go to campus and stay with a student for 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights. So your parents would drop you off, you would take your bags, you would go to the residence hall. They would have like a little cot for you to sleep on, and you would sleep there for 2 nights. And then when your interview comes, you would go to your interview, go back to the room. They'd have so many activities planned. This was a good way to gauge if you would fit into this campus environment. I know now because of COVID, I don't think they let students sleep on campus anymore. I think you have to stay in a hotel, but you still get to spend 3 days at the school interacting with students, navigating it on your own. So it's a good way to decide if this is for you or if this is not for you. And then you get to interview for the scholarships. When I attended, I interviewed for Presidential Scholarship, Razor's Edge Shark Teach, Razor's Edge Leadership. You get to do 2 Razor's Edge scholarships. Then I also had dual admissions, and then they eventually added Fischler Academy because Fischler and Shark Teach went together at the time. I'm not sure of the technicalities right now, but I would look into those scholarships and see which one is the best for you. Leadership, Global, Research, Talent, and Teach, obviously. There are 5 options, and I would look into them. So those were all the financial things that I think were important about NSU. Moving right along to academics. The first thing, get your credit situation sorted out. If you're from the Caribbean, your CAPE exams or your CAPE subjects that you did count for credits. I got 30 credits from CAPE, which is equivalent to 1 year if you take 15 credits per semester. Get your credits sorted out. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't get your credits, but it is possible for you to get your credits situated. If you are transferring from another school or anything like that, same thing applies. Ensure you get your credit. However, there may be some classes that you did that you may not be able to get credits for. So that's a different story. But for CAPE, there is a document that tells you every single CAPE class that you did and what class it accounts for that you can get credits for. I will try to find that document and link it in the description. Most of the things I'm talking about today, I'm going to try to link it in the description. So like the different scholarships and the CAPE credits, they're going to be in the description below. Even if you did just 1 year of CAPE and then you're going into college, those credits still count. It doesn't have to be 2 years of CAPE. 1 year of CAPE can count. For class size, when I first was looking into NSU, they told me the class size was 17 students. It's more like 25 right now, or like when I ended my experience or when I graduated, it was more 25 students. That is still great because your professors are going to call on you by name. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know if you're missing from class. I think it is amazing because you know that they actually care. You're not in a room with 5,000 people or 500 people, how much ever it is, where you feel scared to raise your hand and you don't have a personal connection with your professor or your classmates. I think it's perfect that the class sizes are small, which means they have more class availabilities open with more professors. In terms of professors, in my time at NSU, I don't think I had a professor who was like, I hate this professor. Like, he's the worst, she's the worst, they don't know how to teach. And I can't say that I've had that experience at NSU. I would definitely recommend that you go and rate my professor, type in the professors' names, and see which professors are more liked by students than others, because some may be hard graders and you might want to just breeze through the class. A professor may have more assignments and you just want to do exams, or a professor might have more exams and you prefer to write papers. Like, go read through the comments and filter through and see which professors you're gonna like and which professors you don't think you would mesh with too well. In terms of your class schedule, you are completely in control of how your schedule goes. And I think because the class sizes are so small and they have more class offerings with more time availabilities, you can customize your schedule however you want. So if you want to do only Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule where you're off on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There was one semester I did that so that I could work on campus for the entire day on Tuesday, Thursday, and I did a little on Friday because it was a 20-hour-a-week job and I couldn't get 20 hours in 2 days. Or if you want to put all your classes on Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, so then Monday, Wednesday, Friday is free, and you'd have basically 4 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, to do whatever you want to do. If you want to fly home, if you want to go to the beach, if you want to go on a trip to another state, like, you would have 4 days to do whatever you want. Just know that those other days are going to be long and you're going to have to push through them. Additionally, you can either, there are like 1 class a week classes. So if you don't want to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, you can do one Monday. But just know it's going to be like 3 hours long and you have to be like mentally prepared to sit through that much school. Me, I couldn't do it. I prefer short spurts. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday was perfect to me. The Tuesday, Thursday classes, they're a little bit longer to account for meeting less times a week. I hope I explained that well. But you can customize if you want to do mornings only, afternoons early, between 10 and 4, however you want. You can choose exactly however you want to, provided that the class is open. So for class registration, when it does come around, someone wrote legislation to let seniors register first, seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. So you might have a plan for how you want your class schedule to be, and then they may not have those classes available for you to register for. Just sign up for it. My freshman year, class registration was like the Hunger Games because everybody in the school registered at the same time, so the site would crash. So we would have like 3 class schedules that we would work with. So let's say you start doing one and you miss a class, toss that schedule, you start with the next schedule until we found the schedule that we want. But I don't think you'd have to go through that stress if you are I don't think you'd have to go through that stress because you would see like the classes getting full and you would have time to like readjust it. In terms of the academic environment, I thought it was very healthy. It was healthy competition. It was never like you feeling like stressed or overwhelmed based on the classes. Like, it wasn't too competitive, like people weren't mean, like it wasn't like that. It was healthy competition where, you know, everyone wants to do well, but you're not fighting against each other at all. Earlier I mentioned dual admissions. So if you are interested in continuing your education, I will highly recommend researching if your program has dual admissions. This was also a factor in why I chose NSU. Seeing that I had to do a master's in speech language pathology, like, I was thinking about the fact that I need to continue school. So with dual admissions, when you apply for it, a seat is reserved for you in your master's program. So I got accepted, so a seat was being reserved for me in the master's program, right? I would recommend doing this as a safe option. So I did it with full intentions that I was going to stay at NSU and do my master's at NSU. Now, when I got to the point and I saw the costs and they started to get a little scary, I started looking around. So I had the option to go to another school, or I had the comfort of staying at NSU knowing that seat was reserved for me. Now, you still have to go through the application process. You still have to have decent grades. You still have to meet the criteria, but that seat could still be yours. Like, it's yours provided that you do everything. It's not yours and you can go failing through undergrad and then still get it. Like, no, you still have to apply, you still have to be a good candidate, but it has your name on it. They're holding it for you. So I think that was really great. And you also apply for that at Sharp Review, so look into that. There's also the DAPES program, which is dual admissions something, which basically means that you can apply within your first year of undergrad. Once you become a sophomore, you're no longer eligible to apply for it. Now, this is information based on when I was at NSU. I graduated last year. If you want to do dual admissions, either apply before you go to NSU or within your first year, find out what the requirements are for the DIGS program. But it's nice to know that a seat is reserved for you in a master's program. Next, there's also the Honors College. Not sure what that is about. I think you got a scholarship for it. You can look up the Honors College, but it's something to be mindful of. I was, however, in the Honors in Major program, which is offered to students with a 3.8 GPA when they enter their senior year. And you just get to do a special project, like either write a paper or do community service, like stuff like that. And it's noted on your diploma. So I think on my, well, they told me it was noted on my diploma. I think that's noted on your transcripts. But it's noted honors and major, and at graduation there's a time where they say, well, all honors and majors candidates please stand, and then you get a little medal. Insert picture of my medal. When it comes to creating your academic plan, you are in the driver's seat. This is something very important. This is for any school. This is not just for NSU. You are in the driver's seat and your advisor is in the passenger seat. A lot of people go to their advisor, they make a 4-year plan, and that is it. If you want to make a 4-year plan and just sit and be content with that, that is totally fine. If you are on a mission to graduate early or to have your plan in a specific way, always remember that you're in control. You are the driver, you know where you want to go, but you just need help with the directions of how to get there. So for me, there was one point where I knew it could potentially take me 3 years to graduate, and I was like, let me go to my advisor, tell them what I want to do, and then let's see how we can get there. You know, so don't just take your advisor's word for it. Like, don't let them tell you like, oh, it's gonna take 4 years, or oh, you need to do another semester, or you need to do another year, or you need to take 6 classes this semester. Like, you're in the driver's seat, you're in control. Know what you want. I want to graduate early, I want to have this minor, I want to do XYZ, and you just communicate that to them so they can help you with what you want to do. So overall, I would say NSU had a good academic quality. I felt prepared for grad school. This is based on my program as well. I can only speak for the classes that I did, which would have been like I did a major in speech language and communication disorders with a minor in psychology. In terms of those 2 areas, like, I learned a lot and I liked the structure of the classes and the professors taught well, and I would give academic quality 5 out of 5. So moving on to professional and personal development. So a lot of people say that college is not for everyone, and I 100% disagree. You don't have to go to college to be successful in life, but college is for everybody. Like, anybody and everybody is capable of going to college. In college, while you're in college, you are not just learning knowledge based on your career. There are also so many soft skills that you're learning. You're learning how to interact with people, you're learning how to interact with leadership, you're learning time management skills, negotiation skills, you're learning how to plan your life properly. Like, there's so much. You're learning how to live with people, or you're learning how to deal with conflict and conflict resolution. There's so many things you're learning outside of the classroom. You're also going to learn a lot of leadership skills if you do decide to go down a path of leadership. So there's a lot you can get out of college outside of just academics. Now, you don't need to go to college, but if you go, you're going to learn something. Because a lot of these, let me not get into that. Whatever you put in is what you get out. And that should be a motto for anything you do in life. If you put in 5% effort, you're going to get back a 5% return on that effort. So what that means is, if you don't seek out personal and professional development, you're not going to find it. So in my last semester at NSU, I took 7 classes. I was a resident assistant. I was in the Razors Edge Shark Teach program. I was in the Honors and Majors program. I was the president of the International Student Union, and I was the vice president of the Pre-SLP Society. I always forget stuff because there are so many things that I did at NSU, but I believe those were the main things, and this is while taking the 7 classes. RA was 20 hours a week, and when you're on duty, someone can wake you up at 3 in the morning. Oh, I locked myself out, and you have to get out of bed and go assist them. So it was a very non-traditional job. But what I'm trying to say is, like, with doing all those things, I learned so much about myself. I learned a lot of transferable skills. But I put myself in that position. If you sit in your room and say that school is boring and I'm not learning anything and I'm not getting anything out of it, that's on you. In terms of internships, I'm not sure how that goes. My program did not have a lot of opportunities for professional development outside of academics. I believe some programs have internships built in, but again, that's something that you're gonna have to research on your own. In terms of jobs and leadership, you have tons of job opportunities on campus and even more leadership opportunities. While I was at NSU, these are all the things I did. I was a resident assistant, orientation coordinator, the president, vice president, inter-organizational council chair. I was a secretary of the Caribbean Student Association. IOC chair was with Caribbean Student Association as well. I was an international shark mentor. I was a supplemental instruction leader. I was a peer leader. I was a shark review leader, and I was in the Races at Shark Teach program. So I did a lot of leadership things when I was on campus. It ultimately helped me with my grad school application, with me in general as a person, things like that. So there's a lot of room for personal development and professional development. It might be based on your program. In terms of campus food and facilities, I would give campus food a 6.5 out of 10. There are a few chains on campus like Starbucks, Subway, and Einstein's Bagels. Love Einstein's Bagels. And then they have other places to eat on campus like Razor's Reef, which Razor's Reef is like a buffet style setup where there are different places you can go to buy food. So there's like Mondo's Grill and that place, Mondo's Sub, and that place sells like subs. And then there is like the salad station. There is one station where the food changes all the time. So like I've seen mac and cheese, Caribbean food. In the morning there's like eggs and bacon. I've seen ribs, wings, mashed potato. Like that was my favorite station. Then there was like the pasta and pizza station. Pasta was good, the pizza was okay, like, and then there was another station where the food changes all the time. So during the day, like breakfast and lunch, you can walk up to each individual station and buy a meal. So you can say, oh, can I get some chicken alfredo? Can you put some broccoli? Or you can go up to the sub place and get a Piggly Wiggly, or whatever you want. That's the name of a real sandwich. But at night, I think starting from, it might be 4. I think it's like 4 p.m. It becomes one price dining. Now, again, this is from when I attended NSU. I'm not sure if things are the same, where you would pay for one price. It was like $10, and you would go in and you can either stay in there for as long as you want and eat as much as you want, or you can take a bowl to go, but then you can't re-enter. So if you are a commuter student and you're studying, pay the $10 at 4 p.m. and don't leave until 10, and you have meals for the entire night. Or if you're a residential student and you just want to go back to your room, like get the bowl, fill up as much as you want, and skedaddle. And the food would be decent. The only downside with that is like once you go in, or once you are at the register, you don't know what there is to eat, so you might pay to go in and then not like anything. But again, you know, the substation is always there, the pizza and pasta station is always there. At night they would have like ice cream with toppings, they would have cereals and parfaits. I think the one price dining at night was really good. Now if you're a residential student, you would come with a meal plan, and with that meal plan, let's say you had, I think freshman year was maybe like $1,200, and every time you swipe it would go down. So like if you started with $1,200 and you swiped at Mondo. You swiped for the one price dining, it will be 1200 minus 10. And every time you buy something, you go to Starbucks, it will go down. So it wasn't like swipe and you enter, it was like you're paying, and then on the app you can check to see how much money you had left. So if you're living on campus, you're not really paying because you already paid for it. Now if you're a commuter student, find a friend who has money and let them swipe you in, because a lot of residential students will have so much money left over at the end of the semester, and then you would just end up buying like a whole bunch of cups from Starbucks, or you might go to, what was the name of the mini mart? I can't remember the name of there's like a grocery store in the UC, the University Center, and you would just go there and just buy like things that you could store away, like a whole bunch of wipes and a whole bunch of toilet paper, a whole bunch of cleaning supplies. Like, if you make, no, I'm not saying to use people to get their money, but I'm saying if you have a friend, like for me, I'll be like, yeah, go buy something to eat, because you don't want to lose that money. If you don't use it, you lose it. Then in terms of other facilities, the gym was really nice. There was a rock climbing wall. The pool, never went to the pool. I've seen it, I've been around it, but I've never been in it. The pool, there's a volleyball court, like an outside volleyball sandpit. I've used that a few times, very fun. Oh, but the Rolling Hills pool is really nice. The Rolling Hills is a residential community across the street, and that pool, because it used to be a hotel, that pool is really nice. I'm gonna insert a picture of the pool. It's so nice. I think those are the major facilities that NSU has to offer. Moving right along to lifestyle. So in terms of campus life, I think campus is diverse enough. It's not the most diverse place that you would ever see, but it's diverse enough. Campus events, NSU has really good campus events. I'm at a new school now, not to bash this school, that's not my intention, but NSU's events were really good. Some of my favorite events were like waterworks, where they would have like a fire truck and like slides and foam and like water shooting everywhere with music. So it's like a water party kind of vibe. I think that was fun. I love the water slide. Then there's Winter Wonderland, which happens in the spring semester, where there's like ice skating, and they bring snow to Florida if you've never seen snow. So that's really fun. And all of these events have like giveaways and free food. NSU has a lot of free food. That's one thing I really appreciated. There's always a food truck where once you're a student, you get a chit and you can go get a plate of food. It's not like snacks. You're getting actual food. So if you don't have to be hungry. Now, this is not an everyday thing. This might be like once a week. But it's still a lot of free food. At the school I am now, I remember they had food trucks. And I was like, oh, which one's free? And they were like, none. And I was like, not used to this. I'm used to like everything always being free. More events that I like, USGA throws a carnival. I'm gonna insert another video of that, where they bring like Ferris wheels and like all these carnival games, and there's free popcorn and free cotton candy and like amazing. Then there's the annual raft race, which happens at homecoming week, where like you can build a raft and earn money for your club and things like that. Homecoming week is so much fun. Everything completely free. I have 2 videos on my channel during homecoming week, so if you're interested to see what homecoming week was like, I'm gonna link them in there. Feel free to look at them. But like free t-shirts, free food, free souvenirs, like a lot of free stuff. There's block painting. I love block painting. If you have a club on campus, like each club gets their own block by the library where you can decorate it however you want. It's nice and personal. I have videos and pictures of that. And these are like the major events. There's like crunch brunch, where there's like breakfast for dinner. All you need is a chit. You go in, there's waffles, there's chicken, there's bacon, you get drinks. It's amazing time. You're having fun. I would just say, just make sure to have friends to go to the events with, and once you go, like, it's an amazing time. Those are the major events that happen on campus, but there's still other events that smaller clubs host, that again, free food, opportunity to mix and mingle, opportunity to have a good time. Like, if you really set out to have a good time at NSU, it would be a blast. I enjoyed every single day at NSU. But if you stay in your room and complain that it's so boring, it's going to be so boring. In terms of campus safety, I've always felt safe on campus, and as a residential student, you're working on campus like so many different hours in the day. Like it could be 11 a.m, it could be 11 p.m. I've never felt unsafe. I also worked as a resident summer housing assistant. I forgot to say that. Why that came to mind is because the only time that I felt kind of weird working on campus is when I worked as a summer housing assistant, and I would be working in Mako, and I lived in Commons because I was going to be an RA there, and I'd have to walk from Mako to Commons at like midnight. So that was the only time I would like sprint, because campus was quiet. There weren't many people around, so that's why it made it a little uncomfortable. But there was always a police car parked outside of Commons, so once I could see that police car like in sight, I instantly felt better. So I never really felt uncomfortable. And NSU, they always advertise like if you're at the library and you don't feel comfortable walking home at night, you can call public safety, NSU public safety, and they will come walk you back to your room. There are also tons of emergency stations on campus that you can hit the button and someone's going to talk to you through it immediately, and they're going to know your exact location. If something happens, the police, public safety is going to be right there. So I never felt unsafe on campus and in Davie. In terms of housing, NSU has a lot of housing options available for students from undergrad students. They don't have Rolling Hills used to be graduate housing like my freshman year and things like that, but as the years progressed with the increasing class size, it became like I think maybe junior senior housing. Don't quote me on that. But in terms of newness or in terms of luxury, this is how I would rate the different buildings on campus. Mako Hall, newest building on campus, apartment style. You're gonna love it. Everybody their mom wants to live there. I have a video for Mako Hall, I'm linking it. Then I would say the Commons Residence Hall, but it is a freshman building. I lived there my freshman year. If you live in Razor's Edge, there's a floor reserved for Razor's Edge students, so your housing is secure. Again, I have a video, it's linked right here with the comments. Then I would say Rolling Hills. No, I would actually put Rolling Hills before the Commons, because Rolling Hills is more independent. Like Commons is freshman, but Rolling Hills is more independent. I have one video where there's like a tiny bit of Rolling Hills, but I did live in an RA room, which was a suite style. However, I loved Rolling Hills because it's away from campus. You have a bit of privacy, like you can go home. When you live on campus, home and school, they're the same thing. When you live at Rolling Hills, home and school, there's a distinction. You get to separate school life and your life, basically. So Mako Hall, Rolling Hills, Commons, then I would say Goodwin, then I would say CLC, FFV. That's in terms of looks and prestige, I think, from like when I was there. But all of them, I mean, it's just for a few months. You're gonna spend 4 months there, you're gonna go home for winter break most probably, and then you're gonna stay on 4 months, and then you're gonna move out. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And lastly, in the category of lifestyle, do you need a car? Personally, I did not have a car, and I don't think that you need a car. Now, most people at NSU did have a car, because Florida is not a transportation city like New York City or like other places like that, or you can't really get anywhere by foot. You need a car to get around. But as a student, if you're there for school and you are not native to Florida and you don't already have a car, I think you don't need a car. This is if you're living on campus, because NSU has resources available for you to get around. There is the campus shuttle. I used to take the shuttle to Walmart. The weekend shuttle would go to Walmart and Publix, so you could choose either one. The only thing is that it goes on a loop, so you can't just go from campus to Publix and Publix back to campus. You have to go from campus to the library to wherever the shuttle goes. It probably takes maybe like 15-20 minutes to get there. If you don't have a car, it's no big deal. If you want to spend the money to get a car, then fine. There's also like the downtown Fort Lauderdale shuttle that used to go to Galleria Mall and will go to the beach. I took the shuttle to the mall twice, and then I took it down, like my friend Josie and I, we were going to brunch, and we took the shuttle to like a stop where we could walk to our brunch spot, and then we Ubered back. So there is a downtown shuttle, and then there's also a campus shuttle that goes around. But yeah, if you live on campus, you don't need a car. If you want a car, feel free to get one. The shuttle would also go to like the NSU Museum and like downtown Fort Lauderdale. I think it was like 2 blocks from, what's that club? One club that a lot of people used to go to, like if you're interested in nightlife. And again, they go on a loop, though some of them are on time, so like you have to be there at a specific time. If you're in a rush to go somewhere, I do not recommend the shuttle. It could be running late, it could be missing a stop, like things like that. But if you just have time to kill, like me, Saturday morning I'm going to Walmart, like I could sit on a bench and wait 5 extra minutes for the shuttle to come. It's no big deal. Last category, social. I think it's very easy to make friends on campus, and one, if you're in like a research program, from the day you get there, you're already going to be around people. If you join clubs, if you get active on campus, if you get a leadership position, like you're gonna become comfortable around more people. I am still friends with all of my friends that I met with in my freshman year. I met Lady on the first day, Razor's Edge Challenge, and we're still very close today. Riley, she was my first friend in my first class from the first day. Still like this. Meredith, we met in Razor's Edge Shark Teach. Met her and we became very close. Along the way, I met other people. Johanna, she's from Trinidad, we became close. Casey, my friend from Jamaica, big up. I did not need to do that. Still close. Alex, I met Alex when I was a summer housing assistant. We both couldn't go home because of COVID, both international students, both from the Caribbean. We became close. Josie, I work with her. Erica, I work with her as a summer housing assistant. Like, if you get involved on campus, you're gonna easily make friends. If you stay in your room and you don't interact with people and you don't make an effort, you're not gonna make friends. So I would say, like, go to clubs, go to meetings, go to campus events, and go to things that you're interested in, so you find people that are similar to you. Not that you only have to be friends with people who have the same interests, but it's, as a starting point, it's easier to start with people that you're going to be similar to, because more than likely you're going to click. In terms of organizations and clubs on campus, there's a club for everything, and then if there's not a club for something, you can make your own club. Clubs are measured by something called fin points, which is like just tracks what you do. So say you have an event on campus, you might get 5 fin points. If you go to a sports event on campus, you get 2 fin points, and you would like take pictures for proof. When you get to 60 fin points, I believe you get to blue fin status, and your club can get money. So now you have money to buy things. You could get t-shirts, you could buy food, you could do whatever you want with the money, provided that is relevant to the club, that you have to get approved for it. But it's so easy to start a club and get funding. While at NSU, I was involved with WAVE, We Achieve Via Education, that was related to Shark Teach. Caribbean Student Association, I was in that for maybe my first year. It was not for me, but it may be for you. International Student Union, I was the president, and I helped to like get it up and running. And it was reinstituted, and I helped to get it back on track, or to get it back active on campus. Loved International Student Union. I went to Black Student Union for the first few weeks. Again, it was not for me. There are tons of sororities and fraternities on campus, D9 and Pan-Hellenic. I was not a part of sorority life, and I cannot speak for them. 4 of my friends are in sororities. 3 of them are in D9. 1 is in Pan Hellenic, and they like it. So if you want to be in sorority and fraternity life, you can. I just know that it's not like being in a sorority or a fraternity at a big school. It's a little different. Another club that I think worth mentioning is USGA, Undergraduate Student Government Association. I was an international senator in USGA, and I love USGA because you have the power to make change. You can literally write legislation for anything in the world and then present it at Senate. There's a vote and it may be denied or it may be approved, and then you have potential to meet with leadership to make change. So let's say, I know this was an actual one, someone thought we should have our own shack, like we should tag the shack and it should be like NSU's shack. That's how wild it could be. Not sure if it passed Senate to even go to leadership, but someone thought we should have our own shack. Or be like Alex. Alex said, why don't international students have payment plans? Like, how is it that all these other schools allow international students to have payment plans and all other students have payment plans? So why can't international students? He wrote legislation, he got it passed, it's approved, it's in action now. So like, you can sit around and complain about everything at NSU, or you can join USGA and say, I don't like this, I want to change this. Now obviously you need to have student support. Like, it can't just be like you don't like that NSU is a Pepsi school and you're the only person that believes that and you want to make change. Like, no, you need to have some support. But it's so easy to make change. Like the class schedule, someone wrote legislation, they said, I'm a senior and I need 1 class, it's full, I can't graduate. That's not fair. Maybe we should let seniors who are graduating, who need classes, to register first. Like, it's that easy to make change on campus. Like, don't sit and complain, like, be the voice. And then in terms of off campus, like, there's things to do socially. There's bowling is maybe 10 minutes from campus. There's the trampoline park. There's a movie theater that's close by. The mall is close by. If you're interested in like partying, going clubbing, like you would go downtown Fort Lauderdale. They have a few clubs that people go to. The beach is close by. And another thing with being social, sharks on the scene. If there's one thing you remember for social, sharks on the scene. I loved sharks on the scene events. Basically, the Sharks on the Scene committee or club or whatever they're called would create different events that students could attend. So for example, one was going to Disney World, but they would only have like, let's say 6-day slots, €6 slots. So you would just line up in a line, you would pay on campus, and this would include transportation to the place, admissions, and transportation back. And I think the Disney one was like maybe $60, like not a bad price at all to get transportation, entrance fee, and to come back. So it'll be different things like that, like going indoor skydiving. One was going to the Miami Heat game. I think they went to a concert. Whose concert did they go to? Don't know whose concert. I went to the Miami Zoo. I went to the Miami Art Tech House, if that's how you pronounce it. Like, they do so many fun things, and it's for an affordable price, and transportation is included. So I would definitely look out to that. I would put their Instagram. In fact, I would put so many Instagram tags in the description box below so that you can find social things to do on campus. But overall, coming to the end of this video, I enjoyed my time at NSU. If I had to rate it, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think it only lost points because, one, I graduated a year early, so I feel like I missed a year to have fun. Now I'm happy I didn't have to pay for more school, but like I feel like I was cheated a year. That's not their fault though. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. I know it was really long. Thank you for listening. I hope this video was very helpful to you. The last question I would answer was, did undergrad prepared me for grad school, and I 100% believe, like, OMG, my phone died while I was recording the end of it and I nearly had a panic attack, but everything's saved. Yes, I believe undergrad prepared me for grad school. That's the end of the video. Thank you for listening. I hope I helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.